What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is the Blacklist Season 5, Episode 21, Lawrence, Dane, Devlin. So, finally, good bit of setup for the season finale where we will finally go after the duffel bag. I'm just so ready to find out what's going on. I want to know what's in that freaking duffel bag. I want to know why it's important to Reddington. I want to know why nobody who has the duffel bag seems to know what it's about. It really does seem like only Reddington is the one that knows the importance of the bones, I think. At least Garvey didn't seem to know. Tom seemed to understand. I don't know. I'm so confused. I just want to know what's going on. But no, this one, I mean, it was good for the most part. Definitely seemed kind of very Balto-esque if you've seen the animated movie. Like, it seems like everything that can go wrong does go wrong. Literally, that's what this felt like. I mean, first Samara ends up, she's being held by this guy, Lawrence Dane Devlin. Apparently, he's done this for years. He's experimented on bodies. He loves to see their, I guess, how they decompose and stuff. He talks about how he thinks everything should return to nature or whatever. So yeah, creepy guy. I like the acting from the guy that played him. Like, he was very kind of comical in the way he played it, but it was sort of levity in an episode that was very dark and intense. But it just seemed like, first she does manage to get some sort of like thing rigged together where she's able to cut her bonds, but first she strikes a flare, puts it in his face, so smoke, 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 and then she's able to cut and then run. Somehow he catches up to her. I guess he's really just fast and tough. It didn't really look like it, but he managed to catch up to her. And then on top of that, like, she grabs a stick with a pointy end, stabs him in the stomach, and she's like, "No, you're not going anywhere." Takes it out of his stomach. I'm like, good God, this guy just can't be stopped. And then he starts driving, he starts passing out because of blood loss, crashes, and in the midst of the crash, was it a pipe wrench? I don't even remember what it's called now. But yeah, one of the things that you use for, like, unscrewing a tire, I think a lug wrench maybe, stabs Samara in the stomach. I'm just like, good God. So then she takes it out, which I didn't think that was a good idea to, normally you just want to leave it in there so that way the blood doesn't come out. But she takes it out. She also wraps like a not a surrogate. I forget what it's called. But she wraps, to keep the blood from flowing too much. And then she's trying to get out. And then she's trying to get a hold of the guy's phone because Aram's calling it, and she's trying to let them know where she is. But then as she's trying to grab the phone, the guy proceeds to wake back up. Don't know how. But he wakes back up, he climbs out of the car, takes the phone with him, and then he gets attacked by a bear. Okay. And in the midst of the fight, the bear kills him, of course, but then also pushes the car, after she manages to get a hold of the phone to try to call, pushes the car into the river. So now there's water flowing into the car. I'm like, good God, could anything get any worse? So ultimately, it's just an episode where Samara is captured. She's trying to get out. Things keep getting worse. Aram and the team are doing everything they can. Aram especially is doing everything he can. And, I mean, it makes sense. I feel like, I don't know. It seems a little bit weird because they did put them through, like, a little bit of a relationship bump in the road. Like, it seemed like maybe they were splitting up, and all of a sudden this episode happens, and it's like, now he's working so hard to get her back. I don't know why they needed to do the relationship struggles in the first place, because it wasn't necessary. Like, we could have had this episode without all that, and it would have been perfectly fine. But I really do, I mean, I feel for him. He's probably one of the more relatable characters in the show, just because he's not some super, like, obviously he's very smart, he's very good with technology and stuff, but you also just kind of feel like he's very human, when it comes to just life. Some of the team feels like they see this death, this horrible stuff that's happening, and they're just unfazed because they're used to it. Aram seems like he's not like that. He's very, very much seems personality-wise like he's just a normal guy. And so whenever he and Samar hit it off, like, it was a very cute relationship. And everything to do with this episode was very much the same. You see the desperation in him as he's trying to get her back. He's willing to do stuff that probably will get him reprimanded. I kind of concerned because they never really talked about what his punishment was going to be for giving the Moore guy his Bible that gets, allows him to kill himself. but I assume there's going to be punishment for that, and I'm a little worried about what that punishment might be. But he does all that without any sense of just retribution, any sense of what might happen to him. He just wants to get Samar back. And that's very relatable, you know? Any of us would probably feel the same way in that situation. So, I don't know. I really felt like it was a strong episode for him, seeing him do whatever it takes. You know, when he finally gets there, he's the one that jumps into the lake and dives in, manages to get inside the car and save her life. And of course, she does end up, she might be on a respirator permanently, which is very sad. But it feels like very good vindication for Aram and everything he did to be able to be the one to save her life. And I love the moment in the episode whenever the guy was asking Samar, do you believe in God? And she's like, I do. And he's like, well, I don't believe in angels or anything like that. And she's like, well, I know I have an angel looking out for me. And it shows Aram going through and like getting the Bible out to give to Moore. So I don't know. I liked how they handled all of it. It was a very sweet episode. And aside from that, the stuff with Reddington and going after the duffel bag, it feels like it's finally reached the point where it's like, okay, now we're going to go do it, which is good because I was worried, especially after the last episode, that it might be more biding time. You know, when they got to Costa Rica, I was like, okay, is it going to be something where they can't get to it yet? You know, they have to wait, and that's going to lead into the last episode where finally they can go for it. And it was like that, but not quite the same line of thought. You know, it wasn't like, oh, well, now we got to wait, you know, just wait here in Costa Rica until we're ready. They do find out that somebody else that apparently is an enemy of Reddington's now has a duffel bag. He took it from Garvey whenever they got there. So now it's a rush to go find this guy and get the duffel bag from him. So I like how they set it up in this episode. And it wasn't just, you know, things are waiting around for stuff to happen. Like Reddington pushed it through and he found the information by making it happen. So I really like how they handled that. But it does set it up for a very intense finale. And I love the dialogue between Liz and Red at the end where she's talking about like, I'm going to be the one to find it. Like, it was so good because they're setting them up like they're enemies. Well, they're not quite enemies, but they're also not allies right now. Like, they both, they don't want to hurt each other, but they also both want the same thing. And they're not going to let the fact that they're father and daughter get in the way of that. It's very much a mutual want of this bag. And I'm curious to see how it's going to end. I honestly don't know who's going to get the bag first because it feels like, you know, obviously Red is always one step ahead of Liz, but it feels like she's starting to catch on quicker now. It feels like it's not as easy as it used to be for Red to just fool her and then move on. Like, she's starting to catch on to his cues a lot quicker. She's starting to figure things out a lot quicker, and it makes it more exciting because now she's just one step behind him every step of the way. So I feel like they've done a really good job of building her up that way. And I'm really excited to see how it ends. So I'm going to go watch that right now, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Now, episode 22, Sutton Ross. Season finale. Oh my god. What? Okay, I haven't had a chance to breathe. So part of the problem with the fact that I took so long to get back to reviewing, to get back to watching these shows in general, is the fact that now I'm kind of putting myself on my own schedule. I don't have to, but I want to, and I am doing it because it's my own personal thing. So yeah, I'm going through these, and I want to finish out all the seasons that I was stuck on, that I never finished, and then I'll get to the new seasons. Part of the problem that I found with Gotham and now with this is that now I really want to watch the next season. Yeah, so this one, I mean, I'm so glad. I was so worried because like the episode kept going on, and I kept thinking to myself, it really did feel longer than a normal episode, first of all, but I kept getting so worried. I'm like, God, are they going to end on a cliffhanger where we don't find out? But it's like whenever Liz is talking to, you know, Tom's ghost, or, you know, what her mental image of him, she's talking to him, and I'm sitting there thinking, please do not say, oh, I know the secret, and then she just doesn't say it. Please don't do that to me. please do not cock block me like that. They didn't. So were they going to. But yeah, I mean, all of it is building up to that one big secret. And I said the secret at one point. I did talk about it. I didn't know for sure, but I had a pretty good feeling that this was the secret. And yeah, I mean, it's very intriguing. It's not the real Raymond Reddington. The bones are the real Raymond Reddington. So that of course brings up a ton of questions like, why? Why all of this? Why did he choose to impersonate him? Why did he choose to come into Liz's life and expose all of this stuff? Because if he didn't come into her life, none of this would have been found out. So this is something where I'm kind of curious to know if they had this plan from the beginning, that Red was going to be Liz's father, and then the fact that he's not actually Raymond Reddington, who is Liz's real father, or maybe he is Liz's real father and Raymond Reddington is not her father. I don't know. But no, I'm very curious to see where the next season takes us. So much about this. I mean, I'm not just gonna regurgitate everything. All of it was good. There's not a part of this episode that I felt like was boring. There's not a part of the episode that I just had issues with. It was all good. Like Samar and Aram getting to reconnect at the end was very touching. The fact that she's awake now is awesome. Some great moments of trickery from Elizabeth in this episode, and even the FBI, whenever Wrestler turned out to be one of the posing as the Serbians, I'm like, brilliant. And during that whole scene, though, where Liz was in their interrogation room, I'm just thinking to myself, she planned this, didn't she? Like, it felt like she planned it. I'm sitting there thinking she had to have, right? Like, she wouldn't be taking this easy. And then they get to the warehouse, and I got fooled. I'm just like, damn, like, she really did get taken that easy. Come on, Liz. That's this guy? This weak little guy, you let him turn the tables on you, literally and figuratively? And so then whenever, she's talking to Tom at the end, and she's like, I pulled some trickery of my own, I'm like, oh, no, she didn't. And so just seeing it all play together, finding out Jennifer even got involved on it, and she found out what was inside the bag, I wonder how long she's known. Is this something that she found out after everything that happened a couple episodes ago? Like, even the episode where she was talking to him and got him to admit, the whole thing about abandoning them and stuff. I'm kind of curious to find out, like, did she know at that point, or had she not figured out yet? So, I'm very, very excited to see where the rest of the show goes. There's only one more season. I'm pretty sure it's the last season as well. And it really does feel like it's building up to, a Red versus Liz showdown. I don't know for sure. I mean, they could turn the tables on us again and we find out that this guy actually is deep down a good guy, but I don't think he is. Everything he's done, he's always been kind of an anti-hero. He does bad things, but it seems like it's for good reasons. But now I'm kind of wondering how much of that is even true. How much of this was just done to keep his secret hidden, in all of this. So they've done a very good job with the story. I love what they're doing with it. Can't wait to see where next season takes us. I'm excited now. This is gonna be really, really fun. I can't wait to get back to it. But anyways, that's it for me. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Obviously, no spoilers for next season and what happens. But let me know what you think. We can discuss all that stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys at the next season. Peace out.